Only 5% of the ocean has been explored. And yet, of that 5%, we've discovered countless creatures that will shock and stun you. This is Beyond the Depths.
Oh god. Brilliant.
I know. And talking about brilliant, this is the start of the second episode of the most brilliant podcast on the internet, Beyond the Depths. Thank you everybody for, listening in. I would like to introduce myself as the host, Ben Selfversparra-Holland. And my guest for today, introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Kieran Shouter. Don't worry about the last name, no one can say it.
I see. There's something you and I have in common. Selfversparra, no one will be able to say it or spell it, which is great, knowing it's the domain name for the email address of this account for the Beyond the Depths podcast. Yeah.
I mean, that's a good way to remember it.
Yeah. I've got it written down everywhere, so if people want it, they can just copy and paste it. Just makes it a lot easier.
That's fair.
So, to get straight into the podcast and the main body of it, I'm going to describe to you a mysterious creature from Beyond the Depths. Are you ready?
I am ready, yes.
Alright. I want you to imagine an eel-like creature. On the end of its body is a single fin. As you progress slightly down the body, you'll find fins which look like sharp webbed fingers pointing backwards. It also has the same style of fins on its sides, just before its Venus flytrap meets sperm whale type head, where it has sharp, jagged set of teeth and small piercing eyes. However, to add to the horror, the teeth, rather than being on the inside of the mouth, are actually lined around the outside, where its lips would be, with the exception of the top middle area, which has in place a notably large appendage, which is commonly redrawn to look like a tooth. However, in reality, it looks more like, those beach seaweeds that you can pop, and you get all the spider crabs crawling all over them.
Yes.
Yeah, it kind of looks like those. Yeah, so...
That sounds terrifying.
It is indeed terrifying. Just based on what I've said, can you tell me what you imagine there? Like, run me through your thinking.
I'm just seeing, like, electric eel meets great white shark.
Yeah? I will take... That's actually quite valid. This is the point in the show where I send you the image of today's mysterious creature. There it is.
It is, then.
What do you think?
Oh my goodness.
Right?
That exists.
That exists in our oceans, right? Have you got any descriptions for it?
It looks like something out of a horror movie.
Yeah, I will take that. I mean, to be fair, that is a redrawn version of it, but there aren't many, live versions of it, unfortunately. Oh, saying that, I found one now. There you go. It looks just as horrible.
So, something out of Alien vs Predator.
You know what? Yeah.
I'm seeing
Alien
like
versus
space alien or something like that.
That's entirely valid. Yeah, I seem, as I mentioned earlier, I see like the Venus flytrap meets whale kind of thing there. With
I
just
can see that.
the big wide mouth. So
if someone told me that came from space, it would not take much to convince me.
imagine it, imagine that with legs. That would be weird. Ugh. And
That would be the end of humanity.
That would be the end of humanity. And As I'm saying that, I see one walking down the street now. Ooh. Goodbye, everyone. It was a good run. And with no
Well,
further
that's the end of this podcast series. We don't know what we're going to do now, but we're all going to die from this strange outer space monster.
I'm sorry for releasing it upon you people. Right, with no further ado, today we're talking about the Thaumatichthys. A creature so terrifying, one of the only families that wants it is commonly referred to as wolf-trap sea devils, which is, if I'm not mistaken, a classic Doctor Who villain.
That sounds right.
Yeah, the odd sea devils. They were related to the the green lizard lady. What was her? Silurians. Yeah, they're related to Silurians. Okay, moving on. In all seriousness, this oddity is a part of the anglerfish family, which I may have to do a collective episode on later. But for now, one of the most notable qualities about the Thaumatichthys is the lore that I had mentioned earlier. More specifically, its special properties. Could you take a guess as to what the lore does that makes it so special?
Well, if it's part of the anglerfish family, then something to do with baiting other fish? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, you are on the right lines. It does bait fish. Have you got any other... How would it bait the fish, though? Like, how do you think that lure attracts fish?
It doesn't look like it has a light or anything, so...
Ah, well, that's where I'm wrong. The lure... Sorry, that's where you're wrong. I'm not wrong, I'm always right, sorry. The lure, also known as the esker, is special because of its bioluminescent qualities. Of course, it lights up. Can you guess how many fish, or how many species of fish have some kind of bioluminescence? Just random guess. Say a number.
What, species as in families or individual species?
I'd say families.
50?
50? Ooh, I'd times that by by about 100, because, well, not 100, sorry, haven't done maths in a while. I've completely given up on it. The answer is over 1,500 that we know of. I didn't even realise there were that many families.
Why are we not using this knowledge in order to power the world's lights, then?
I mean, yeah, why not? We could
Learn how they do it, there we go. Instant and continuous sustainable power.
We could, like, keep them in bowls above our ceilings.
Like fireflies.
Yeah, like fireflies. And just use
Brilliant.
those to illuminate the room.
Yes, of course, because that is the only humane way to do that. I was thinking learn how they do it and recreate that artificially, so that no energy is needed to be used, but I mean, that works too.
I mean, that way sounds too strenuous and long and, years of research.
Yes, because that's how science works.
Just keeping them in a little bowl and using that to light up the whole room. I feel like that's a sustainable way of doing it. You just need to buy food constantly.
Yes, because they'd be perfectly happy living on fish food, having been used to sustaining themselves on deep sea widows. I
actually do know of some of the foods this thing eats, weirdly enough, and we'll go into more of that later. However, to go into more detail about the discovery of the Thaumatichthys, I love that name, by the way, the Thaumatichthys, because it has cheese in it, was first discovered in 1908, which makes it quite recent, actually, doesn't it?
That is very recent.
By an American expedition in Indonesia. They had initially named it the Pagodosaurus, which sounds more like a Harry Potter spell Pagodostomus
Or a
means...
prehistoric dinosaur.
I wish I thought of that. Why not? I have been looking at these nodes for years, trying to think of something it sounds like. Only thing I could come up with is Harry Potter spells, but you have it with dinosaur.
Who doesn't love dinosaurs?
Right? The dinosaurs are amazing.
Yeah.
I gotta find more dinosaur type beings.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, Pagodostomus means trap-mouthed, and given its hunting technique, it's easy to tell why.
I can see that.
Yeah? You see it being a trap because it sort of lures the fish in with the esker. As you may have remembered from earlier, I compared these things to a, quote, Venus flytrap meets sperm whale, and this is the same for the way it hunts. As you can imagine, the aforementioned esker attracts fish with its bioluminescence power, like a moth to a lamp, or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to children's teeth. That's a very nuanced reference I don't think many people are going to get.
But the ones who do will appreciate it so much.
Oh yeah. I had another joke lined up here, but I wasn't quite sure if it would go down well.
Best keep it safe for the internet. You know how it can be these days.
Yeah. I might tell you after the podcast. Who knows? The fish, or crustaceans, are entranced and will inspect the esker only to be quickly trapped in a snapping motion. However, fish and crustaceans aren't the only thing to be eaten by this monster. After further examination within their stomachs, scientists have found pickles and other sea-based vegetative options. So, yeah, that's interesting. They're omnivores?
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
So, not only will this thing eat your children, but it will destroy your crops when it learns to walk.
Yeah, once it's able to walk, it's just going to waltz into your house, eat your dog, and then clear out your fridge.
Arrive, raise hell, and leave.
I mean, it looks like that's exactly what its purpose in life would be.
Oh yeah. It is the devil's favourite fish.
Or just a fish created by the devil.
Yeah.
Or, a failed experiment by either scientists or some other religious type being.
It brings me back to that Wilfred Mott quote from before. It's them aliens again!
Definitely.
So it seems fishy about this guy.
Oh no. We've reached the stage of bad puns.
It only took the second episode to hit rock bottom.
Oh no, it never takes long before the bad puns start rolling out, and then we're all lost.
Oh, I see what you did there. Lost, like the TV show based on an island in the middle of the ocean.
Indeed.
Interestingly enough, the Venus flytrap hasn't filed an evolutionary copyright suit, therefore allowing these things to procreate. On the note of breeding, the Thaumatichthys males are believed to be parasitical. Some would argue this is the same in humans. Anyway, this has not been confirmed, which at this point means we do not actually know how their existence has continued.
So that they could just kind of be all being produced from one single mother, if you will.
One single mother, and the males sort of latch onto them, speculatively.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could see the males being parasitical, because if they're from the anglerfish family, that's how anglerfish procreate. So
that is
you could see it being like that.
I mean, the males are much different from the females. They're smaller. I don't think they have the esker So, yeah, the males are kind of underwhelming. The reason...
So just like humans.
Yeah!
The joke had to be continued.
Oh, God. Just like humans, says one male to another. We are downright simping here, aren't we?
Oh yes. Just looking to be told, no, that's not true.
Oh, yeah. Can someone in the Spotify, we are not there, sorry, on the Soundcloud or YouTube comments, tell us how we're amazing. Someone...
That would be wonderful.
Give us appreciation, we'll appreciate it for 10 years.
Yeah, we'll never forget it, not for the rest of our lives.
No. It's a sad truth.
Indeed it is.
The reason these things remain relatively mysterious, aside from the nightmares it gives to those who dare mention my name, is due to the fact they live so deep, making them incredibly difficult to observe. They live an astonishing 3,500 meters, or 11,700 meters deep. A lesser man would have made a your mum joke here, but we here at Beyond the Depths are above that.
Or below that, you could say, since we're talking about things that are below the ocean surface.
That's what she said.
Of course, you just had to.
I had to!
Of course you did.
It doesn't even make sense, but yeah, we'll run a bit.
Indeed.
Another notable fact about this fish is its name. Besides the classics, what the fuck is that, and the world's worst case of tonsillitis, this fish has two names, and I've been calling it the Thaumatichthys. The other one, I wish I called it Prince Axel's Wonderfish. Do you have any questions?
Who came up with that?
That's not the question I was expecting, but who came up with it was I believe it was the scientists about 50 years after discovery. Because obviously it was called the it was called the it was called the Pagodostormus at first. So 50 years after discovery, they're like, we're gonna name it after Prince Axel.
Yes, Prince Axel's Wonderfish. That the second part is what I'm questioning. This does not look like something wonderful.
And I will make you right on that. Although it's wonderfully horrifying.
You could argue that.
We'll give it that achievement. The fish.
That sounds more accurate.
So, the question I had in mind was, who the hell is Prince Axel? And Prince Axel...
I mean, that too.
Prince Axel, besides being named after a car part, was a Danish prince born in 1888. He was an activist and a businessman with a deep love for fishing. After further revision of the discovery of the Pagodostormus between 1950 and 1952, the Pagodostormus was renamed to Thaumatichthys, or Prince Axel's Wonderfish, as a tribute to the prince himself. And if we're gonna, pay tribute to one prince, it should be the Purple Prince. Prince.
Yeah, not a prince that no one's heard of.
Yeah, right? Denmark... interesting thing about Prince Axel, he married a Swedish princess. Which is something... I'm trying to remember the movie. It was Kingsman.
Yes.
Which is something that Eggsy...
Yes, it does.
Yeah, which is something Eggsy does, so... correlation... I think not.
Well, I approve of it much more now that a Kingsman reference has been made. If you've not seen Kingsman, go watch it. It's the best movie you will ever see.
Oh yeah, no, The Kingsman is just one of those movies that will never be topped.
No, never.
One of my
You can try.
One of my favourite parts about The Kingsman is just that fight scene.
Yes.
The church.
Just all the fight scenes.
Oh, all the fight scenes, yeah, but the church in particular.
Oh, of course.
It was...
Producing the best movie quote in the history of movie quotes.
Oh, I don't remember it off by heart, but yeah.
I do.
Would you like to tell the audience at home the exact quote?
If anyone else out there knows this quote, immediately we are best friends. Oh, I can't do his voice, but he goes, I'm a Catholic whore engaging in congress out of wedlock with my black Jewish boyfriend who works at the military abortion clinic. So hail Satan and have a lovely day.
That's it. Brilliant. Honestly, Colin Firth, he is just class when it comes to these types of things.
Oh, absolutely.
Another Colin Firth movie, by the way, which I absolutely love, is all the Bridget Joneses. I don't know if you've seen them, but damn, those are good.
Oh, I can agree with that.
Maybe
Maybe we should rename this fish the Kingsmen Fish now.
The Kingsmen Fish. That is
That
brilliant.
would be much better.
The only connection being the guy it was named after initially had married a Swedish princess, just like...
Well, the original link there was that the guy really liked fishing, so excuses can be made.
To be fair, another link to be made is this fish is capable of committing violence beyond that of the church scene. Just look at it. You never expect it to just be, you know, the sort of waiting kind of fish where it lures people in. You expect it
I want to
go
know
out
how
and
big it
shred
is.
people.
How big is it?
How big is it? That is an interesting question. I was not expecting.
Because I know that anglerfish can be 7 to 8 feet long for the females, so if this thing is the same size, then lock your doors, everyone, we're all gonna die.
Right, so, after doing some quick research, it's actually unknown.
Oh, that's worse.
Oh yeah,
That's much worse.
nobody knows how big these things get. They just know that the male is much smaller.
So, in theory, not that I think this could be possible, and I really hope it isn't, but in theory, it could be whale-sized.
In theory. However,
It could get there.
upon further revision, males only grow to a... males only grow to 45 millimeters long, so they're not that
Oh
bad.
my goodness.
They're not that bad.
Well then.
Yeah, tiny thing. You could squash it with your boot, but just imagine if that was bigger.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would very much more explain why no one's gone and researched it. People have probably tried and then just been eaten.
Oh, I've just found something. The Thaumatichthys axeli, which is closely related and pretty much just the same fish, measures in at around 36.5 centimeters long at the largest.
Oh good, they're tiny. It's fine.
Yeah, they're tiny. It matters not. we are safe.
They'd end up being more like a pest then. Just imagine that they did come onto land. They'd be more like really dangerous foxes.
Yeah, or
Because if they're omnivores, they eat anything.
or they're.
They just go through your rubbish bins.
I'm thinking more less vampiric leeches.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they even kind of look a bit like leeches.
Yeah, they are just leeches. Okay, well, end of episode, everyone. They're just leeches. Nothing to fear here.
Yeah, it's fine. Nothing to worry about. They're just deep sea leeches.
Yep, the mystique of this horrifying looking thing has been ruined.
Ah, that's fine. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So, that was everything you need to know on the Thaumatichthys. In turn, concluding episode 2 of the Beyond the Depths podcast. If you have any questions or issues with the facts presented in this show, feel free to DM my Instagram at beyond_the_depths_podcast, or email us at btd@selfversparra-Holland.com. Good luck spelling that. And on that note, Mr. Kieran, do you have any pluggables? Maybe a TikTok? Or an art account?
I have an art account. It's at KieranFCArt on Instagram. And I do have a TikTok account. Thank you very much for bringing that up, because I've just hit 10k.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you very much. So if you want to find me on TikTok, I do cosplay. It's at Prison Prince Cosplays. Have fun with that.
Ah, brilliant. And yeah, as I said, that concludes this episode. Thank you for joining me and being our second guest on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. We hope to have you again. And to all of you listening at home, thank you for listening this far in. Be sure to check us soon. Be sure to check us out again soon. And toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.
We thank you for listening. Make sure to join us next time for another creature beyond the depths.